Hi, everyone. Let's go ahead and get started. So thank you for coming out today as we have a chance to show you what's coming for Connect Carolina. So we have some pretty cool new changes coming to the look and how you get around in Connect Carolina. So my name is Anita Collins, and I'm the Change Management Lead for Connect Carolina. And I just want to mention that we do have a webinar going. So it seems kind of silly to have mics and everything going for a smaller group, but it is being recorded, and we do have some people live online. So as we ask questions, we'll ask you to repeat your questions, or we'll repeat your questions for you so they'll get recorded. This will be available on the CC Info website. So how many of you have been on the CC Info website? Okay, a few people. That's great. So it's ccinfo.unc.edu, and past recordings are out there. Stand closer. Okay. So what we're going to cover today is I'm going to spend a little time talking about the benefits of why
You'll have to come over here. You'll have to come over here.
Okay, and when the change is happening. Then Jackie Trushell from the Change Management team is going to come up, and she's going to give you a sneak peek of the new home pages. So there's more than one home page coming, and show you how to get around just in general. And Julie Dawkins, who so many of you may know, but she is the project manager for this project, and she's also representing the student administration side. So she's going to dig into the details of the new look for the student administration pages. And then we'll wrap up and take questions. And you guys feel free to ask questions at any time as well. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so about the new look. So it's much more modern. So even the students are saying that it looks more modern, and they're a tough crowd to please. Of course, they would like it even more modern, but you know, we're making progress. So it has a new tile-based look. So it looks a little bit more like when you get onto your cell phone, the applications and the buttons for the applications. So it definitely has quite a different look, and we're going to give you more details on that. It's more efficient. So for some users, so people who are in the system all the time, the statistic is it's about 72% fewer clicks. So that won't be true for everybody, but if you're in those menus all the time, going back and forth, it'll be a lot more efficient for you. And we'll give you details on why that is. It's going to be more flexible, so you'll have 5 different ways to get around and get to the pages that you need. First question that we usually get asked is, will my favorites be there? And yes. I don't want to steal Jackie's thunder, but your favorites will come over, and that's just one of the ways. But we'll talk about what the other 4 ways are as well. It's more intuitive. So navigating those menus is really challenging if you're new to the system and you don't remember exactly what all the pages were called. So now it's kind of brought up to the front. So what you need is much closer to when you first sign in, you'll be able to see it. So when somebody's new to Connect Carolina, it'll be a little easier for them to get around and to figure out what's what. And the most used features are right near the surface. So instead of having to dig way down, you'll find that it's just easier to get to what you need. It's also more accessible. So this is super important, especially for the university right now. So the pages are more accessible to all types of users. So the fonts are a little bigger. You'll notice colors are different a little bit to make it more accessible. All right, so why are we doing this? Well, for one, it paves the way for a better experience on mobile devices. So now for those of you who use those big PeopleSoft screens that have tons of fields spread all across the page, you won't probably ever be doing that on your phone, right? But for students, it's going to be pretty awesome because not for May, so we're going to do this first part in May, but coming shortly thereafter, they'll have a almost completely mobile experience, and they love that. But also, another reason we have to do it is because PeopleSoft is the software that's behind Connect Carolina, and we have to keep up with it. As they make changes, we have to stay up with them, and that's because they support us. So if we have a problem, if we're too far out of date, they'll just say, well, good luck with that, and we can't really afford that. So we have to stay up with the latest version, and this is their latest version. So we kind of have to do it, but we want to because it's a really, we think it's a really positive change. So we'll see what you think at the end and see what you think. When we keep up, also it allows us to take advantage of the new features as they come out instead of having to custom code all the new changes. Anyway, so we kind of have to, but it's also a good thing. So when is it coming? So it's coming the weekend of May 17th. So there will be an outage. It will be after census. Well, the system will be closed at 5 o'clock basically, and census will happen, and then after census it will continue to stay down for the rest of the weekend so that this change can be made. And you'll get more details on the specific times not too much longer. All right, so up next, so that's all. Any questions on what we talked about so far? No? Okay, so I'm going to turn it over to Jackie Trushell, who will give you a little more detail.
Thank you. All right, am I close enough? Okay. All right. Thanks, Anita. So I'm Jackie Trushell. I also work on the Connect Carolina Change Management team, and I am going to talk to you about what the look is coming, what it's going to look like. So this didn't do the way it was supposed to. Sorry. So the first one, the top screen, everybody knows that, right? Everybody knows the messages and all that. So instead of that option, you'll have what's down front on there, which gives you the tiles like Anita mentioned, and you'll be able to go different places from using those tiles. You also have an option to have multiple home pages. So this is just an example. Everything that we're showing you is just still mock-ups. It'll look slightly different when it goes into the system in May. These are just the artist renderings of what it's mostly going to look like, but don't get married to exactly what this is and where things are on the screen. Is that better? Okay. So you'll have the tiles, you'll be able to click on the tiles. So everybody that's an employee at the university will have this homepage, which is called the self-service homepage. So that's where you'll go to see your paycheck, change your benefits information. If you're like me and you go to Tim through Connect Carolina, because that's the way they showed you it go live, then you'll have the tile for Tim as well. And you can do all of that information there. If you're a manager, you'll have access to your manager work center from the self-service page as well. And then up at the top where this little arrow is, you'll have the option to switch to the other home pages that you have available to you. Excuse me. So the first one is the Admin Work Center, which we're going to talk about a little more in depth, but that's for anybody that has access to see information that's not their own in Connect Carolina. So most of you are here because you are student services managers, so you see student information in Connect Carolina. That means you'll have access to the Admin Work Center page. If you also do finance, you'll see that information on that page, and if you also do HR work, you'll see that information as well. The next one that's in the list is student. So this one's a little bit trickier for us as employees. So if you are or have ever been a student, even if it was like me and it was the last millennium before Connect Carolina was a thing, you'll have access to the student page. It's not going to be very helpful for you if you are not currently a student at the university. You can go in there to still get your transcript, that sort of thing, if you're doing anything with that, but you will have access to the page. The next one is Faculty Portal. So Faculty Portal exists today. We rolled it out last spring for faculty, so they have a similar experience to the tile look. That is staying the same, and faculty will still have the Faculty Portal. There's a couple of cosmetic changes happening to it, but the functionality of that is not changing for them. So the one benefit for faculty is, so if you work with faculty, let them know if they prefer to go through the Admin Work Center or they want to go through the self-service page to look at their paycheck or change their benefits, they'll have that option. By being faculty, they are also administrative users, they are also employees of the university, so they'll have access to all those pages. And then the last one is My Page, and that page will give you the option to choose what tiles you want to see on there. So right now, your paycheck tile is on one screen, and say the Student Admin Work Center is on another screen, on another home page, but you really just want to log in, have access to all of that every time you log in. You can set that up. on what's called My Page. So you can pull the tile for your paycheck, you can pull the work center, you can pull that Tim tile if you're using that as well, and get all of that information on one page. And then you can set that as the page that you see when you log in. So the very first time you log in, on May 20th, when this goes live, and I know everyone's going to come in first thing, log in, see what it looks like. The first time you log in, there's a hierarchy set in place for what page you'll see first. But you can quickly change that page if that's not the one that you want to see every time. And then every time you log in after that, it'll be to the page you set. So you can have it be that work center page, you can have it be the self-service page, you can have it be your own page. One thing to note, you know all those messages that you see on that first page when you log in now? You see that's sort of what we call wall of messages. So those are not going away, but they are being sort of redistributed. There will be a tile, and it's like this one it's a little bit longer than the other ones on the screen, and that will have important information, and that is customized to you. There are some messages that everybody across the university needs to see. For example, we have a system outage coming the weekend of May 17th to 19th to do the upgrade. Everybody needs to know that, so they're not logging in over that weekend because you can't get into the system. But not everybody needs to know that the registration window is closing. That's pertinent to only student admin employees. Or on the finance side, that there's an ePro outage. If you don't work with ePro, but you're in ConnectCarolina, you see those messages where the vendors are having issues and that sort of thing. So you don't necessarily need to see that if you don't have access to do that. So this will allow us to target those messages right to you as student admin employees, and also as just employees or people that are associated with the university as well. We also have a little announcements box, which will have graphic messages that actually are going to be tied for everybody at the university. So the first one you may see would be like an outage related message or something along those lines. So for right now, the announcements are going to be broader than just the notifications. The notifications will be targeted to you. So any questions about the overall with the home page and the My Page, setting it to what you want it to look like? No? Okay. So switching between home pages is as easy as clicking the triangle and then clicking the next home page you want. So when you select Admin Work Center, it's going to go to the Admin Work Center. So you see the version that's listed up here is what it would look like if you have student admin and HR and finance access in the system. So you would see all of those tiles. If you have no finance access in the system, you don't do vouchers or ePro or anything like that, you won't have that tile. So, and they'll just kind of reorder on there. So this is sort of the most you would see at this point. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So I'm going to repeat the question just for the webinar. The question was, is there a way to set a default for the page that you want to show up? Yes. The first time you log in, it's based on a hierarchy that's already predetermined for which page you'll see, but then you can set the page that you want to see. And every time after that, when you log in, until you change it, that'll be the page that you see. Thank you. So on here, you will notice that there is also a help tile, and there is going to be a help tile on every page. That is, even if you have the My Page and you set up your own page, we're not letting you take away the help tile. So you're going to have to get the help. Whether you want it or not, you have the help. And the help tile will go to a page that has help targeted at what you do in the system. So by virtue of being an employee, you'll see information about help for employees, finding your paycheck or changing your benefits information or things like that. As a student admin user, you'll have a tile for that. If you ever were a student, you'll see the student tiles as well. The cool thing about those, and I don't have a screenshot of those, but is you can collapse those. So if you're trying to look for something and you know right off the bat, like I don't need to see this and I don't need to see this, you can collapse it and then look for the other information. And that is sort of a similar tile-based format on that help page as well. So that's pretty much it in the Work Center and the home pages. That's what you'll see there. So now the question is, where'd main menu go? How am I going to get around in the system? You told me I can use a tile, and the tile will go somewhere, but there's not a whole lot of tiles here. We have a lot more options in the system than those tiles that you just showed me, right? Okay, so let's talk about how to get around in the system. The first way is the tile. Some tiles will take you to work centers. Julie's going to talk a little bit more about the work center. If you're not already using the work center, we'd like to encourage you to start using the work center because you'll find it a lot better, I think, once you get in there and start using it. But any of the tiles will go somewhere else in the system. Sometimes it's a work center, sometimes it's directly to a page. So that's the first way. There's 4 more ways, and they all involve this toolbar up in the top right here. So 2 through 4 involve the compass icon, which I sort of skipped ahead there, but in the far right, there's an icon that looks like a compass. If you hover over it when you do that, it says that it's the nav bar icon, but that doesn't really make sense in my mind, so we're calling it the compass. So when you click the compass, it will open a menu on the side there. So the second way, the favorites that Anita was just talking about, are going to be on that nav bar. So you would click the compass, you would click the star for favorites, and then that will open your favorites. So if you are concerned about pages that you get to, or you have pages that you only go to twice a year and remembering what the path is, that sort of thing, go ahead and save those favorites now if you haven't already. It'll make it a little bit easier. Any favorites that you save now will be in the system when it goes live on the 20th. So just keep that in mind for the favorites. They are not going away, and what you save now will still be accessible. The third way is what is called the Navigator now. This is really the old main menu. It's just in a different spot. So if you are a main menu user, you'll want to pay attention to this part. So you would click the Navigator, and what happens is it opens a menu. Right now, when you click main menu, it fans out across the screen. I'm sure anybody that's looked for something that's buried down 5 or 6 menu options knows what that looks like. This isn't going to do that, which is good and bad. It's bad because it's a little more tricky to see where you've been. So if you are somebody like me who likes to bounce around when you're trying to, I know it's 2/3 of the way down and then a little bit up and then over. You're not really going to have that option now. The other sort of issue, which is really just something to keep in mind, is that you can't alphabetize the list. So it comes directly from the vendor to us, the list the way it is for your options, and you can't sort it and you can't alphabetize it. So if you are going to use the Navigator as an option, you'll just, eventually it'll be like main menu. You'll learn how it goes and kind of where it is. But so if I were to click on Student Admin Menu, it's going to open the next set of options, but it just kind of opens it on top of the other set. We do have some really awesome folks in ITS because PeopleSoft took away the breadcrumbs in this iteration, but we have some really awesome folks here in ITS that were able to put the breadcrumbs back for us. So they're kind of hard to see on these slides, but they're up at the top above where it says Navbar Navigator. So the breadcrumbs, as you make selections, the breadcrumbs will go up there and you can see it. One thing to keep in mind, if you are submitting a help request, if you're having an issue in the system, right now they ask you to, send me a screenshot and include the breadcrumbs. When you get to the page you're going to, the menu will collapse back, so you won't see it. So you'll just have to know what the breadcrumbs are or take a screenshot separately of the breadcrumbs and of the page you're on. Does that make sense? Okay. And then just keep going from there. If you hit Campus Community, it would bring up the next one. You can go back it's got arrows at the top, so you can go back one level, or the the arrow that goes up goes back to the top level. So it would go all the way back to the student admin level. All right, and then the fourth way is recent places. This exists now in the system, so if you are in and out of the system during the day and you've been in this page and then you had to go do something else and you need to go back, you can go to recent places and it has a list of the places that you've been. And then the fifth way, if all of the other options fail and you just can't find what you're looking for, is the little magnifying glass. So that's a search option. The search option, you can type in a page that you're looking for. You can type in the name of it. And it is rather powerful in that it brings back all the pages that have that keyword on it. So it's a little bit like Google where you get like the 14 million results. So it's not necessarily all that helpful unless you know the path of what you're trying to get to. But if you're looking for something, you can use the search, and you can only use the search for pages at this time. So you can't look up information about students or anything else, transactional information, no data. You can't search by any of that, but you can search for pages in the system. Does that all make sense? It's a lot, I know. And then just talking about using the self-service homepage again. So we are all employees of the university. So we'll all have this page. And the big thing on this page is being able to look for your paycheck. So when you get in the system, you get to the self-service homepage, you click the My Paycheck and Tax, which I think has now been renamed to My Pay and Tax. Regardless, you click on the tile, it has a little piggy bank on it, and then it takes you to this page here, which is your paycheck page. The neat thing about this is that you can then click if you have other things that you need to do. So there's the new direct deposit functionality where you can change your direct deposit information. Right from here, you could click on that and it will open the page right there. Does that make sense? Any questions? All right, so then I will turn it over to Julie Dawkins for a look at the student pages.
Okay, so as student service managers, this is really important to you guys. I'll start with the admin work center because this is what you look at for your day-to-day jobs and the things that you go to. So we had already, Jackie had already touched on the different work centers and the ones that you'll see or not see based on your access. Again, we really want you to consider at least looking at the work centers and using those for your pages, at least initially, and see if that won't be easier for you. I'd actually considered trying to create a student services manager's work center specific to you guys that would put everything right in one place for you. And then I realized this actually does that for you automatically. So I'll show you what happens here. So when you click on the Student Admin Work Center, it's going to open up a menu on the left that is your work center. And it's going to have different folders down the left-hand side. And what you're going to be able to see is everything that you have access to, but nothing else. And so if you have just a couple of pages in advising, a couple of pages in admissions, a couple of pages in records, you'll be able to expand those folders and all of the pages that you need to jump around and do work on for students, you'll see all in one place. And so the nice thing about that is you're not having to go back and go to a different menu and find a different page and then go somewhere else. Everything's going to be right there on the left. You'll be able to jump from page to page in all the different areas, do your work in that right-hand area of the page. There's a little, what's called a page tab. And so right here, there's a little navy rectangle. You can actually click on that. It will close that menu so that you get your real estate back on the page. And then when you want to open it back up and go to a different menu item, you just click it again and it opens back up. And so the beauty of the Work Center is we can put a ton of pages in there and only the pages that you have access to see will be there. So there's no risk of that. People that don't have access are never going to see something they shouldn't see, but you are able to work with all the different areas in one space to make it an easier place for you to do your work. Whoops, I should have clicked. All the things I just said. Okay, so when you expand the folders, you'll be able to see all those pages, and then clicking on that will show you the page, and you'll be able to actually do that work on that page. So similarly for students, we told you about how the different home pages that you have access to see will be listed in that top middle section. And so here you can see that we've landed on a rendering of the student homepage. When we talked to students, they said, we don't really like using Connect Carolina. We just like to go to Sakai and we like to enroll in classes, and that's it. So just leave us alone. We don't want to do this. And so I said, well, what would make it work for you? What would make you happy? And they said, well, we would really like to see everything at a glance. And so what we did is we worked with them on the different things that they really wanted to be able to see right when they log in on their phone. These home pages are responsive, and so these students that have their phones that are glued to their hand are going to be really excited, because when they log in, these tiles are going to be 2 by 2 down their phone. And so they're going to be able to, at a glance, see where am I supposed to be right now? I'm supposed to be in class over in this building, in this room. They're going to be able to see on the task tile if they have checklist items due or any holds that are going to prevent them from registering for class. They're going to be able to see if they owe any money to the cashier's office. They'll see the most recent date that the financial aid office attempted to communicate with them in case there's something new there. They also really liked four pages in particular that they go to quite a bit. So I'm a little worried about our students. They sound a little obsessive compulsive to me, but we'll work with it. So they really like to go look at their official transcript often. They like to do their GPA calculator maybe every time they take a test. I don't know. Apparently they go out there and do that. Target tracker and shopping cart. They like to constantly think about what am I taking next. And so they go to those 4 pages really often, and they said it'd be great if we made links right on the front page that they could get to those quickly. And so that's what those are. And I apologize. This is a rendering of me. And so I am alumni, but not a current student. So what we did is we made this work with logic for alumni and proxy and students. And so there are certain pieces of data not showing on here because I'm an alumni and not a current student. But on the personal information tile with the interlocking NC icon, anybody that hits this page is going to see name and PID. They were really excited about that. They wanted to have something that said, I am Julie, I'm a student here, and I'm very proud that I'm a Carolina student, and I want that to show on my page. Underneath that is their major and their minor, or any combinations of that, and so they really like that too. They like going out and seeing that, yes, today I am still this major, and I haven't changed that today. So all that's going to display right on the front page for them, and they like that. Because we were going to do more fluid pages in the May go live, and now we've pushed that out to the end of the summer, some of these tiles are not going to the pages that they will go to later on. So what we decided is it was probably a better change management effort if we let them go ahead and click on the tiles and it take them somewhere versus making them non-clickable. So the task tile and the student finances tile, those are going to, when they click those, they're going to take them straight to the Student Center. And so there's also the Student Center tile that you can see there. All of those will go straight to Student Center, which looks just like it does today for the most part. I'll tell you how it's a little bit different. And they're going to do things exactly like they do today. And so your view, when you're helping students, once you get past these initial login pages, is going to be exactly the same as it is today. And so you're still going to be able to help them just like you do. They're going to be able to do all the things they do today just like they do today. The only difference is there is a new style sheet with a tools piece that we're also putting in as an upgrade. And what it's attempting to do is make all these pages, whether they're the old pages or the new responsive pages, look the same. And so it has a lot to do with accessibility and making sure that people are able to see things on these pages as clearly as possible. And so really what you'll see on these pages for the most part is a little bit bigger font, maybe a little bit bigger boxes. Some of the gray shading has gone away in some places. So you may notice it, you may not. But for the most part, we think internally that it just gives it a little bit cleaner, more modern look. But for the most part, it's exactly the same. And every link and every functionality is right where it was before. There's just a little touch of a difference on how the page renders. And then proxies. Proxies would also have the tile to allow them to go in and see their students' data if a student has given their parent or someone else proxy access to see their pages. Again, the help tile that Anita mentioned is there, and will show students things that will be specific to them and to help them, as well as the notifications box up at the top will be geared towards students for things that are really important to students, like when drop add ends and those types of things for them. I think that's it for me. So questions about either Your view of the student pages or how the students are going to be doing any of this? No? Great, easy crowd. Julie Dawkins, if you have any questions later on, feel free to email me at any time.
Thank you, Julie.
So just a little bit more. So I just want to talk about the change a little bit. Change management, it's in my title. I have to, but I just want to mention that all changes, even good ones, take some getting used to. So we were talking about changing your navigation and how you would move around in the system. And you know how when you get a new version of Word and everything's all moved around and you're like, why? Why do they have to keep doing this? And you're going to probably feel that way when we go live with this system. So even though in the end you might think, oh, this looks a lot better and this is more usable, it'll be annoying for the first couple of days at least. But once you get past that navigation, the pages that you use every day will be the same. So it really is kind of a change and just a skin deep kind of change. So once you get used to moving around, once you get to where you need to go, it will be pretty much the same. So just give yourself some time, just kind of block off that day and say, okay, it's going to take me a little longer to get around the first few days, and leave a little extra time and try not to stress out about it, and spread the word about that as well, that you've included in that it's going to be annoying for the first few days. Okay, so we wanted to kind of give you a preview today and kind of get you thinking about the changes that are coming. But on May 2nd, we're going to give you more details. So that's when we'll be able to actually show you the real screens and how it's really going to work. We're going to do it as a webinar, so please dial in. The connection instructions will be on the ccinfo.unc.edu website. You'll also be receiving a communication and let you know with the links and everything. So we hope you will join us on that webinar. It'll give you another chance to ask questions, and as things sink in and you're kind of wondering how things are going to work, save them up, and that'll be a great time to ask those questions. And please spread the word as well. So we think that the changes are good changes, but it's going to be kind of shocking if somebody dials in and they haven't really heard that this was happening, and they go in that day, they're going to think they're in the wrong system, right? So please help us spread the word that to let people know that it'd be great if they would get up to speed on the changes before they happen, save any favorites that they want to save. So any questions for anyone on the team? Any on the online or anything? No? Okay. No questions? What do you think so far? Do you think this is a thumbs up change or a maybe? Yeah, some thumbs up? Okay, good. That's all I'm asking so far. We'll ask for more details later. Okay. So thanks so much for coming out. As I mentioned earlier, this will be recorded and on the CC Info website. So if you know somebody who didn't make it out and might want to watch it, please help us spread the word on that. So thanks everyone, and we'll see you. Well, you'll hear us in a couple weeks.